You're listening to The Real Estate Ride. Make sure to subscribe and enjoy the show.
That whoever you have doing your inspection is 100% comfortable in doing an inspection. So they know what to look for. They know what you are supposed to inspect.
A home inspector is so affordable. Like, it just makes sense to use a home inspector.
For sure.
You know, you're talking $300 to $600.
Most of the time, yeah.
And so that's going to tell you a laundry list of stuff that you're not going to see in your 10 or 15 minutes of walking through the property.
Right.
So you can decide to do an inspection clause or you can skip it. We quite often will skip that, but keep the financing clause in place because you can find stuff. You can still do an inspection, but not make your contract contingent on inspections itself, which makes the seller feel better, warm and fuzzy. But if you found more things during your inspection while you're developing your rehab cost estimate and things end up costing more, then you can go back and say, I'm sorry, I got to cancel the contract. Let them ask you why. Well, we found more stuff that was wrong than we thought when we first initially walked through. And now our hard money lender, private money lender, bank, whomever, cannot approve the loan at this price because now the repair costs have exceeded a certain percentage where it doesn't make sense to do the deal anymore.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Ride podcast.
Today we are going to discuss preparing purchasing contracts.
That's correct.
Whether it is for a retail real estate deal as an agent or working with an agent or as a wholesale deal or whatever you're purchasing the house for.
Correct. So we're going to cover the do's and the don'ts and what gives you the greatest chance of acceptance for your purchase contract.
So we have purchased houses in many capacities.
In many states.
Over many years. We've been in real estate for 20 plus years. And Jay is a real estate agent. And we've wholesaled and did all kinds of different real estate transactions. So we have all of the ins and outs for all of the types of purchase contracts that we're going to share with you.
We've also owned a mortgage company. So we have seen hundreds and hundreds of contracts come through that we have either been the purchaser or part of the purchase in some way. So today's episode is geared toward educating you on what to do, what not to do.
Right. Both. Good and bad.
Hopefully give you as much applicable advice as we can today.
Absolutely. So the most common purchase agreement is for retail real estate, meaning you want to buy a house for you and your family. Somebody is buying a house from you, their family, working with tongue-tied today, working with a real estate agent to purchase a home. That is the most common purchase agreement that everybody out there knows about.
And agents tend to use their board approved contract. And it's funny, but I have had agents tell me I can't use my one-page purchase contract.
Which is not true.
False
news.
If you go to HUD.gov, you can pull up the HUD purchase contract, which, guess how many pages it is? One. So the government can use one, but I can't. Okay.
What you will find.
Go back to continued education.
Right. What you will find working with real estate agents is a lot of real estate agents have zero idea of what they're talking about when it comes to investors. I would love to be able to say that that's not the case. But more often than not, unless they themselves have either worked with real estate investors in the past or are a real estate investor themselves, they really have no idea what you can and cannot do.
Yes. So our recommendation is, yes, absolutely use their contract unless you have some specific reason
not to,
because that's what they feel comfortable doing. That is what we have been. We, as in, I'm a real estate agent, like Annie said. What we have been instructed to do with our broker. Okay.
Yes.
So certain forms are used, and they've been developed for the purpose of protecting all parties in the transaction. Where Annie and I will use a one page if we are working directly with a seller, because if you're not using an agent, you really shouldn't be using
An agent's
the
contract.
real estate agent purchase contract, in my opinion.
Right.
It's not against the law, but
It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
we use one page because in that instance, you want the seller to be comfortable with the purchase contract, and a 8 to 15 page purchase contract is overwhelming
Right.
to them. And if you're trying to buy direct, you want it to be as simple as possible. And so in that instance, we would just use a one page. Now, what makes a purchase contract, right? You need a property address.
Right.
You need a purchase price.
Yep.
And you need a closing date.
Yep.
And
that's about it, honestly.
yeah, like it could be on a napkin.
Need to have for a purchase
It
contract.
can be a napkin.
Yes. So we have the one-page contract that we use that has the property address, the seller's name, the buying entity's name, which is not Jay and Annie Adkins. It is an LLC that we own. You can use your personal name, but
Yes.
for a multitude of reasons, we don't suggest that. And that would be another podcast episode
Right.
coming in the very near future. But, and a closing date. And then you can add if you're going to put any money down, if there's any other contingencies that you've discussed with the buyer or the seller.
Yeah.
Any of that can be added. But like Jay said, there are only like 4 things that need to be on a purchase contract.
Yeah. Now, our one page does say, who's paying for what. So are we paying for title insurance, or are they? Is their title insurance being purchased? Right.
They're a title company that you want to use versus one that they want to use.
Yeah. You could write that in.
Are you going to use an attorney instead?
Are you
A multitude of things that you can add.
right? Are you doing earnest money? So earnest money is a good faith deposit that tells them how serious you are about purchasing.
That comes off the purchase price. It's not in addition to the purchase price.
By law, it is not required to deposit earnest money.
And we typically do not do earnest money in any of our transactions.
Or we do a small amount.
Right. Depending on how
small as in $10, $100.
Right. It just depends on the
$500.
seller and what makes them comfortable.
And it depends on the area. Like it is customary in Ohio where we buy here, where you do 0 or 500 or 1,000.
Right.
Where we've purchased in Florida before, and they typically want, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 right up front. And then whatever your down payment is for the property, according to the Florida purchase contract, they want you to deposit that like after the inspection period ends. So
it really depends on where you're buying the property, like Jay said. So
yeah, what's customary to each state?
Area.
Like what are agents and sellers accustomed to getting in that area? Because one of our coaching students asked us this the other day, and so we thought it was a good topic for one of our episodes.
Yep.
Because he was asking, how much do I have to put down for earnest money? Well, you don't have to put any down, but say there's 5 offers on a house.
That's what I was just going to say. Earnest money can kind of separate you from the pack of the offers. And it doesn't, like you said, doesn't necessarily have to be the case. But if you want your offer to stand out, if you're not offering necessarily the full purchase price, then adding some earnest money as an incentive to work with you might be a good idea.
Yeah. Say you had 5 offers, all exactly the same, all $100,000. You're selling your house. You get 5 offers. Are you going to take the one that has 0 earnest money? Or are you going to take the one that has 500, 1,000, or 5,000?
And again, earnest money is just basically a good faith option saying, yes, I'm going to follow through with the purchase of this contract.
The contract should state that if for some reason there's an inspection period and you don't find the inspection results satisfactory, that your earnest money is returned to you. Depending on which contract you're using and what the contract says, you may have a clause for financing.
Yep.
Here in Ohio, if your financing is not approved for some reason, like say you lost your job, or
you bought a brand new car right before you closed on a house.
That's happened.
Believe me, that's happened, and then they're no longer qualified for the house.
Yeah, then in that instance, here in Ohio anyway, your earnest money would be returned to you.
Or if you bought brand new furniture for a house on a payment plan right before you bought the house, and they pulled your credit and it goes against your debt ratio, then you will no longer be approved.
Also, real life case study
for your brand new house. So
another one that gets, go ahead.
I was going to say it's important to make sure that if you do need financing and it is not a cash offer, and cash meaning cash in hand or cash in the bank, if it's a private money or a hard money loan, it is not considered a cash deal.
We repeat, it is not cash.
Do not have your real estate agent or you put cash on the line in the document for the purchase contract if you have a hard money loan or a private money loan, because it is still a loan.
Yes, what is considered cash? You have a business line of credit.
Yes.
You have cash in the bank. You have a 401k that you can draw money from.
You have cash under your mattress. You have cash in the wall.
You have gold bricks in your garage.
Anything that you have on hand or that you can go and get same day as needed is considered cash.
You have a already approved line of credit on your house or your business or whatever.
Right.
All of those
are legitimate ways of purchasing with a cash contract.
Yes. You have a joint venture partner who is funding the deal and not putting a mortgage on the property.
If there is a mortgage on the property, whether it is from a bank, a credit union, a private money lender, a hard money lender, a company that does private money or hard money, an individual that wants a mortgage placed on the property for exchange for their money, that is a loan for purchasing a property.
Yes, because we have seen where people put cash and then it's actually hard or private money. Then they get to closing and a mortgage is sent over and it's on the settlement statement. And this has happened before.
Yep.
Chase Bank owned property.
Yes.
We're not selling to you. This was supposed to be a cash deal. We're canceling this deal. That's real life. So we're trying to save you.
No matter what your agent says, because they are wrong. No matter what anybody else tells you, if you have a mortgage, it is not cash.
Yes.
Trying to save you the time and heartache from real life experience on our part.
Sorry, my cord came unplugged there. Anyway, so other things that you should consider are you going to do an inspection?
Right.
So you need an inspection clause in there. And that could be a number of days or over a week.
And it can be you that does the inspection, or it could be a home inspector that you hire. It could
or
be
your contractor.
Yep. Good contractor, good friend that knows construction. It could be Jay and I, if we are your coaching, or if we are your coaches and you're in our coaching program and you're local. Or if you want to fly us to wherever you are, we can walk through properties with you as well.
First class, of course.
Make sure that whoever you have doing your inspection is 100% comfortable in doing an inspection, so they know what to look for. They know what you are supposed to inspect.
A home inspector is so affordable. Like, it just makes sense to use a home inspector.
For sure.
You know, you're talking $300 to $600.
Most of the time, yeah.
And so that's going to tell you a laundry list of stuff that you're not going to see in your 10 or 15 minutes of walking through the property.
Right.
So you can decide to do an inspection clause or you can skip it. We quite often will skip that, but keep the financing clause in place, because you can find stuff. You can still do an inspection, but not make your contract contingent on inspections itself, which makes the seller feel better, warm and fuzzy. But if you found more things during your inspection while you're developing your rehab cost estimate and things end up costing more, then you can go back and say, I'm sorry, I got to cancel the contract. Let them ask you why. Well, we found more stuff that was wrong than we thought when we first initially walked through. And now our hard money lender, private money lender, bank, whomever, cannot approve the loan at this price because now the repair costs have exceeded a certain percentage where it doesn't make sense to do the deal anymore.
But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that that deal is dead. It potentially can open up a negotiation between the seller and you as the buyer to either decrease the price or have them fix some stuff before they sell it to you, or, you know, negotiate back and forth.
Yeah.
It may not be that case, but it has happened to us in the past
Yeah.
that we have gone back and then renegotiated the sales price to cover what the inspection found.
But this is a mindset sales tip for you. I have a strong background in sales, so I recommend that you just tell them you're going to cancel.
Yes.
And then when they ask why or how can we work this out possibly, then you say, well, you know, I found $5,000 more of things that need done. So if you can lower the price $5,000, we'll do it. We just did that with one that had we found the septic was bad during the inspections.
Right.
And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I got to cancel the contract. Oh no, that's terrible. What can we do to work it out? Okay, well, this needs a septic and it's going to be $30,000 to $35,000 to replace it. So all you have to do is reduce the price $35,000 and we'll move forward with the purchase. And that's what happened.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the deal and it depends on the seller. And if you're working, you know, are you buying it from a wholesaler? Are you buying it from direct from the seller? A lot of things come into play, but don't let a bad inspection necessarily deter you from trying to negotiate and save the deal.
Yes. A wholesaler is someone who has a house under contract and they are just selling you their contract to purchase that home.
Yes.
So they're typically going to have you sign an assignment agreement and that attaches to the purchase contract. So if you are looking to buy from a wholesaler, then you should request to review the purchase contract that you are purchasing.
Yes.
And an assignment.
Due diligence is very, very important in real estate as a whole, but definitely when it comes to purchase contracts and wholesalers and different types of real estate deals.
Yes. And wholesalers usually want you to do all of your inspections before you make your offer. So you want to make sure if you are buying from a wholesaler that you really do all of your inspections first, because normally, unless there is a title issue, in other words, they can't sell you the house because there's some lien that can't be cleared, or someone has rights to the property that they can't reach to sign off on it, or a deed was recorded in the past that maybe a mortgage wasn't released.
That's happened to us too.
And so all of those can be factors for canceling the agreement. However, if you're buying from a wholesaler, you just want to make sure that you've reviewed the contract you're purchasing thoroughly.
Yes.
And that your rehab budget is solid.
Yes.
Because normally it's non-refundable. So you don't want to send them, you know, typically it's anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 in our area. Now, if you're buying in DC, California, you know, higher priced areas, you might see $10,000, $20,000 earnest money deposit, or $30,000.
California and DC and big cities in general. And we mentioned California and DC because there's lots of homes going up for sale in both of those areas. But they are significantly more for the wholesaling assignment fee than good old Nerkahaya.
Yes. And then one final thing that I would like to go over is the length of your closing date or your purchase contract where you're going to close. Don't cut yourself short.
Right.
Like if your hard money lender says, I can close a deal in a week,
make it 2.
Make it 2 or 3, right? Or if they say I can do 3 weeks, do a month. You would rather under promise and over deliver
than the other way around.
Than to have to go back to them
and ask for an extension.
Oh, I need more time. Because guess what? They may A, increase the purchase price because they have to hold it longer. B, they might ask you for more earnest money or the initial or A, earnest money deposit.
Right.
Or C, a combination.
Or D, cancel the contract and move on to the next buyer.
Yes. So you want to make sure that you are performing your contract as written and you have a legal obligation to do that. And if you fail, the seller can sue you for specific non-performance of the purchase contract. So, yeah.
So again, recap, do your due diligence, extend your time beyond what you think that's going to be so that you have plenty of time in a cushion. Make sure that if you are doing earnest money, that you put very specifically what you're giving and who you're giving it to. It should always go to a title company or to an attorney that is doing the closing. Do not send earnest money directly to the seller. That's not a good thing.
I don't recommend sending it directly to the wholesaler either.
Correct. Make sure it goes to a title company or an attorney, like I said. And what was my next point? Yeah, don't listen to real estate agents potentially because they may or may not know what they're talking about, and you can 100% use a short contract compared to their legal contract coming from the board that's locally to them.
And we want to be clear, we're not telling you not to listen to your real estate agent.
No, definitely. Like they know what they're talking about most of the time. It just depends on the situation and the realtor and the contract itself.
We just said that because recently we had an agent make an offer on a house and they said cash and they were using a hard money loan. That is not cash.
There are numerous real estate agents out there that are investor friendly and know what they're doing. There are several peppered throughout the rest of them that think they know what they're doing and will argue with you because of it.
Yes. So that is what we have to offer you today for the best advice on how to write your purchase contracts.
If you are in need of asking us any questions or wanting to reach out to us, getting some more information on what Jay and I have to offer, please do so. We can be found on all of the social media platforms. And this has been the Real Estate Ride. Have a good day.
Hey, everybody, it's Jay.
This is Annie.
We are so grateful for you joining us on our podcast and listening in and participating. We want to offer you this additional free bonus, and that is joining our Facebook group.
Yes, where we will have other individuals, not just us, but having conversations on all things real estate, and we would love to have you join us. So just click the link below and head on over and join our group.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the other side.